It has been quite a while since we've done one of these, a reflecting session, just recording. I suppose we've technically done it while we were in Japan recently while vlogging. It's sort of blending together, making it a bit difficult in some ways to know when to record here as well as when to just do a vlog. But I guess when it comes to just like pure reflecting on the day and trying to do it daily, I mean, that was one of the initial intentions behind this whole thing. That is definitely different. It's kind of funny because the second I'm talking to this microphone, I'm feeling like I'm remembering a lot of how I wanted to structure things in my head. One of the things was to do this daily, a reflections session, and then sort of like a weekly review on my second channel, my personal channel, to just cover progress I made or something I learned or something cool that I did or accomplished during that week on the second channel. And then the main channel is like the big project of the month. And I still think that structure is really good. I need to try to get myself there again. And yeah, just doing this reminded me of it just now. And I find that to be very interesting. I haven't, even though I'm like, okay, yeah, I technically did the vlog in Japan. It didn't remind me of this though. Like it lacked the structure, it lacked the familiarity of just like talking to a microphone while reflecting. And it confirms in my head that I need to do this more often, get it back to where it was, where I'm doing this daily. Admittedly, I haven't really been very lucid since coming back from Japan. I visited for about 3 weeks, primarily to see my girlfriend, but I also got the chance to see a lot of my friends that I made earlier this year while I was in Japan for 4 to 5 months. But I guess I didn't maximize it. I could have probably stayed in Japan for, I think, 2 more weeks before the 180-day limit came to a close, where I reached that limit basically. But I guess I wanted to play a little bit safer. A part of me is disappointed in myself for not being able to maintain consistency in Japan. I think it honestly started in the plane ride. Like the moment I was there, I was doing my thing, writing scripts, and then just watching something on the plane. Breaking my zero entertainment stuff was the catalyst for not having a good start, not having an empty mind. Come on, though. Not having a clear mind, not empty. I don't need my mind to be empty, just clear. It goes to show how filling up your brain with unnecessary information, in this case, the entertainment that I watched, really hurts, really hinders what I want to accomplish. And I can understand why my brain, my body, when it's on a plane, when I'm traveling, it feels like it's time to relax. It's time to not really think about anything and just do whatever I feel like, I suppose. But that's not really what I set out for my intentions when I went to Japan. So I didn't accomplish what I wanted, but I have learned quite a lot from it. I need to really try a lot harder the next time we do this, because we will be going back. And this time we know what we're up against. We're up against a lot of bad habits formed while traveling, a lot of things I'm not used to while I'm there. And I just gotta prepare for it next time. All right, you wouldn't believe what happened. I mean, actually it's quite believable. It's happened to people before, but I think some bird just shit on my head and I had to go clean it up right away. Luckily, I'm just walking around my neighborhood, so it's easy to, I just went home and cleaned up my hair. It happened while I was recording, and I just continued to record despite knowing what happened. But that was a first for me, and yeah, let's hope that doesn't happen again. I gotta just be careful when I walk under trees, I guess. I don't know, I'm pretty sure that was just unlucky. Once every, 20-something years? Not bad for a first experience. Anyways, let's continue. So I know what to expect for the future. I know what I need to do when I'm on that plane. I don't need to be focused or stressed or disciplined or whatever. I just need to not let myself go. I need to make sure my mind is still clear and I'm still treating myself in a similar way, like conducting myself in a similar way. These different environments bring up different sort of tendencies, and I'm fully aware of them, so there's no reason why I can't be better next time, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And I know what to do now, so I expect myself to be pretty much on top of my game once I travel next year. Probably in 2 to 3 months, because I do want to be in Japan again as soon as possible. This whole long distance thing with my girlfriend as well, it's manageable for me personally, but I do think that there's, obviously a lot of setbacks or just difficult things that come with being in long distance. So being in Japan just makes it a lot easier. Either way, it's actually Thanksgiving today, and I need to send out some messages that I wanted to send out while I was doing my whole life reflection. And part of me was debating whether or not I should just save some of it for next year, because I think just as an excuse to not have to do it primarily. But now that I'm here and talking to myself, I'll do it. I'll get it done pretty much right after this. Otherwise, that life reflection, a lot of the meaning and a lot of why I did it and the things that came out from it won't produce what I want, That's the hardest part about this is like, after being in Japan for 3 weeks, coming back, it's been a week now, I still, today's probably the first day where I'm like actually getting closer to lucidity again. There was actually one day prior, like 3 days after I got back, where I was getting better. The first 2 or 3 days, it was just like fog. But now that I'm like slowly coming back again, there's just so much I need to do, and it's a little overwhelming, but I've done it before in terms of getting myself together. I've done it recently, so there's no reason I can't do it again. I'm getting to experience like what I have this year. I can see how if, for instance, my productivity were measured in the y-axis over time for x-axis, like it almost looks like a waveform. Maybe not a waveform, but like a wave. So like a sine wave, for instance, it goes up when my intentions are good, when my motivation and energy is high, and then like the sine wave, it goes back down, reaches like sort of where my normal state is, and then it goes down below it to unproductive sometimes when I end up being too tired, binge watching some entertainment, and then eventually I stop and I go back up. So the difference, the nuance behind this is that the baseline where 0 is, in a way, increases and decreases depending on, your lifestyle, your environment, a lot of things basically. And when I was doing really well with keeping entertainment out of my life and just doing this, the life reflection, as well as just lucidity in general, like trying to achieve it, that baseline was definitely really, really high. Like I was increasing and increasing and increasing to the point where even my low productivity days are like good high productivity days when my baseline back then, compared to my baseline back then. And I've been seeing this sort of pattern, and my baseline is sort of low again, basically. But it's sort of like a skill, I think. I sort of see it that way. For instance, if you've ever done any skill, like play a piano song or do the splits or do a cartwheel or anything skill related where you had to learn the motion, normally when you try to do it again, and you're gonna be a little rusty and it's gonna take some time to build back up, but it doesn't take that much time, like maybe less than a week. So that's sort of the way I'm seeing this. I'm not sure, obviously I'm not sure how correct I am until a week passes and I see myself at peak productivity levels again. So we'll just have to try and find out. I hope I'm right. Maybe it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, and because I think this way, it ends up happening, which would be great because then I'd be back on top of my game. But either way, there's a lot to do. Before the year ends, it's, like I said, it's Thanksgiving, so we have 1 month left. I don't know if I can accomplish this, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to get most of the audiobook done, like ready for release. And that audiobook is gonna be Japanese learning related. And then number 2, I'm gonna release my first music album. I should say just call it piano album because it's just mainly piano music. So that's number 2. I think that's it, actually. But honestly, those 2 things on its own. Oh, number 3, there's definitely a third one, which is probably one of the most important ones, is to find a more steady income. Like right now I'm getting income from YouTube, Skillshare, and some of my freelance work. But if I can land a client that is a bit more consistent, or just a lot of different things where, different scenarios, I guess, like just some sort of more steady income, then that is gonna be the third one. Basically increase my income for freelance. So if I can accomplish those 3 things in 1 month, that would be insanely incredible. I'm gonna try. I will most likely not succeed all the way, but I'll most likely make good progress. But at least for the music or piano album, I know for sure I can accomplish that. Like that one, is 100% doable. For the audiobook as well, I feel like I can accomplish that. For the third one, that one's gonna be a little bit harder to do in 1 month, but there are certainly ways, and I'm going to try. So my intentions are set for the next month. Now we just need to execute, continue to act, continue to perform, and do our best. So we're gonna get back on top of this, just recording ourselves for a daily reflection session. And I think, it'll take some time before we're fully in that lucid state again. I think just by doing the things that I used to do that got me there in the first place, like I'll naturally and slowly get there. So that means practicing piano, working on the projects, exercising, practicing Japanese, all of it, and zero entertainment. That's a big one too. All right, that's it for this one.